Darling, everything that I'm saying right now is to incentivize you, motivate you, and get you to realize that no, you're not going to shake this out. You're not going to ride it through. It's not going to go away, and no one's going to step in and curb it unless the people do something. This is it. They have moved on to student visas. They are revoking student visas. They just told a PhD student to go back to Japan because he has an old speeding ticket or some other, like, that is what they're calling criminal activity now. It's no longer about being illegal or undocumented. It's no longer about having ties to crime or gangs. If you are not from a European nation and are here on some sort of visa, they are looking to revoke it. Just like they revoked the work authorizations for about 6,300 people. What was it, last week or the week before? Took their bank accounts, took everything. Okay, they're sending letters to immigration attorneys telling them to self-deport. And yes, a couple of them are saying, oh no, it was a mistake, but they don't want anyone. They're tripling down on this because their super core is finally feeling proud to be an American. You see them on here. They feel so proud now that people are losing their lives, now that families are being torn apart, now that they're allowed to be openly prejudiced. They're so happy and proud to be American. Okay? Now, I know they are not the majority. The problem is they're loud and they're the ones holding the reins. The problem is the narcissists are running the show. And like I keep saying, if you have never had a relationship with a narcissist, you don't know how bad it gets. There's no bottom for them. They never admit that they're wrong. They never say sorry. They will always treat you horribly and they will expect you to stay anyway. Okay? Because the swallowers, they will. They're going to stay through everything. The swallowers are going to stay on board through everything, even if it affects them. They don't care. They don't care. Okay? In Florida, they detained a Georgia-born, natural-born United States citizen of Hispanic Latino descent. He went to Florida. He was detained in Florida for no reason other than being a little spicy, having a spicy name and looking ethnic. His family brought his birth certificate to the courts in Florida and they used the same excuse the administration is using. There's nothing they can do. They have no power to release him. It doesn't matter that he's a natural born citizen with a birth certificate. They're holding him in Florida. No power to release him. Nothing they can do. I'm glad that you think you can ride this out. I'm glad that you think you get to test again in a few years. I'm glad that you think that there's a line somewhere where they're going to stop this. I'm glad you think that. I wish I had the privilege of thinking I had a shot. That if I don't get out before they make it illegal to leave, because that will be a phase eventually, this is a moneymaker. El Salvador is not building more camps because for the goodness of their hearts. It's because this is a multi-million-dollar moneymaker for them. Our taxpayer dollars are going to them so that they can escort us to the end of our days. Yeah, they're going to close the borders because that's someone else's income they're setting up. And it's not going to be too much longer. It's only April. It's only April. And you are now a terrorist if you ask for due process. It's April. And if you're a student here from another country, your visa's being revoked. It's April and you can't even travel across state lines without being detained, whether you're a citizen or not, just because you look Mexican. Maybe you spoke Spanish. Maybe you have maybe Gomez is your last name. And the swallowers have never been prouder. The steeple people have never been prouder. I'm glad you think that you get an opportunity to get out of this in a few years. I'm glad you think you're not going to be affected. I'm glad you think you can just ride this out if you put your head in the sand long enough. I'm glad you think that. I wish I had the privilege of thinking that I and my family might survive this if we don't leave. Enough people have to get mad enough to do something before no one can leave. And I'm nervous because we are trusting these folks to realize they got to get their hands dirty. It's not going to be laws and lawsuits and courts and legislators and bills. It's going to be dirty hands. I don't know. Have you realized you're going to have to get your hands dirty, or do you still think you can just ride this one out for a few years? Is that what you think? Is that what you think? Or is that what you're telling yourself? Because deep down, you want it too. Because deep down, you're more afraid of doing something. You feel like you might be able to survive if you just, again, what a privilege. Must be nice.